Hey, aloha, everybody. My name is Ameera, and I steward a crystal-infused sacred geometry clothing company called Wisdom Wear. I actually micronize crystals and our crystals, just like this, into dust and mix them into the ink of the sacred geometry prints that go onto organic fabrics like bamboo. I have a great passion for sacred geometry and for Andaras and for sharing the magic of sacred geometry with the world. And so part of my mission is to awaken others, to share information, to share knowledge, to share my love and passion of why I love sacred geometry so much and why it's important to all of us. So if sacred geometry is a new concept to you, I have lots of different videos that talk about and explain what it is, and a learning course actually on my website, ameerabeth.com. And I also like to do these special videos that kind of talk about individually sacred geometry and break them down and like really explain simply what it is and maybe what it can do for you. So sacred geometry in general is the shapes and patterns that create everything around us. Everything is math. Everything is geometry. Everything breaks down to numbers and vibration and frequency. And you know, the ancients knew that certain specific shapes and patterns would imbue an energy. And so they integrated the art of sacred geometry into their sacred sites, their temples, their mosques. You know, the Freemasons built all of their structures off the principle of sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is not supposed to be some, you know, esoteric type of experience for only those who are in special clubs or groups. It actually belongs to all of us. So part of my mission and my passion is to bring information and knowledge back to all of us, to return to all of us so we can all play, so we can all win, and so we can all enjoy the benefits of like just playing with shapes and patterns and creating, because that's what we are. We are creators, right? Creating through sacred geometry. So today I'm going to focus on and talk a little bit about this that's behind me called the flower of life. So the flower of life is one of the most recognizable forms of sacred geometry that's out there. So even if you are brand new to sacred geometry, you probably remember seeing this configuration out in the world, you know, on social media somewhere. It's called the flower of life. And the flower of life, what I really love about it, it is not only is it beautiful to look at, and you know, when you look at sacred geometry, when you actually just meditate on it or stare on it, it'll balance the right and left hemispheres of your brain, which is a really cool thing. If you take, even just print out some sacred geometry, black and white on a piece of paper like this, and if you put it up on a wall, and if you stare at it, if you kind of just focus your eyes and stare at it, you'll actually see the different spheres, the shapes, and the patterns move from a two-dimensional to a three-dimensional. You'll see them like come and go and come out and move. And you're not seeing a hallucination. What you're seeing is the shapes and patterns of the God force, of the thumbprint of God, actually activating your cells, activating your DNA, awakening your subconscious, and allowing your right and left hemispheres of your brain to unite and expand up to the creator. So what is the flower of life? Flower of life can be found, you know, all over the world in sacred spots, sacred spaces. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern to look at. And you can see it is made up of all these concentric circles, like building one on top of the other, over and over and over again. And the concentric circles building on top of each other are, to me, in my awareness, are dimensions and timelines building one on top of the other, because you can kind of see how where one ends, the other begins. And not only are circles symbols of unity, of unification, but when they are together, you know, when they are together kind of layered upon each other, it is this rich, full reminder of the tapestry of life. and the intricacies of life. The flower of life is similar to, time is actually not in linear, right? There's really no past, present, or future. That's a human construct. Time is actually in a spiral. And when I look at time, I look at it in layers, coming more like this than the linear that we're kind of taught in our human existence. And so if you were to take this and look at it, you could actually see how time might be created and might be formed. And you'll see the spirals, you'll see the spheres kind of come out and appear. And it's very similar to how, how our reality works, where time is like a tapestry. It's like a weaving. Time, layers of time come in and come out and form these beautiful spirals and these beautiful spheres that are the totality of existence. And I have some other videos where I talk about time and timelines and the oversoul. So if you want to look at this as maybe your individual, your unique oversoul and your own unique multidimensional, self, because, we exist in the multiverse. There are multidimensional versions of you or of me all over the universe in different planets, timelines, reality, infinite numbers or versions of ourselves that are showing up in these different places. So I know that's kind of a big concept to wrap your mind around. So working with the flower of life, which is the individual spheres, as you are, I am an individual, also conjoining or merging with these other individual spheres, you start to see the tapestry of what could be your oversoul producing itself and replicating itself over and over and over again to create a multidimensional experience for your oversoul all throughout the universe. So we're not always aware, of course, of all these other aspects, they're called, of ourselves. We're mostly just aware of the one that is right here, which allows us in our human form, to focus on ourselves and on our mission and our purpose. But, as you meditate, as you take shamanic journeys, as you go through past life regressions, I happen to be a past life regression therapist for the last 10 years. So taking lots and lots of people into hypnosis, into other versions of themselves that are analogous to what we look at in the flower of life. So that's a major representation of what the flower of life means. And, and I'm a big believer of going to God or going to source to get our own information, to get our own interpretation. So as you work with this, you might feel or sense something else. But the main thing to remember, no right or wrong, just enjoy the experience of being with the flower of life and enjoy the intricacy and the beauty and the symmetry. And, life is about keeping everything in balance and keeping everything in harmony. We as humans really like harmonization. We like balance. We like things to be equal. We like things to be fair. We don't like things to be just disjointed. This shape, the flower of life, is a perfect example of that. So some of the other ways I like to look at or interpret or feel into the flower of life as sacred geometry is, oneness, the idea of oneness. And as you study this, you'll see every circle is unique and whole unto itself. And then it is also the combination or the merging of all the other spheres. So, when you think about yourself as a unified being with all the other beings on this planet, or even a unified being with all your other aspects of yourself, maybe realize that we are meant to be our own unique sphere, have our own sovereignty. When I see these spheres, I think of each one of them having their own unique sovereignty, but then also having like a merging or a unification into oneness with all the other spheres. I think that's a really beautiful analogy. Print one of these out coloring it is a great meditation. Just going into sacred geometry and getting some crayons out, some markers, and being like a kid and just making a beautiful template for yourself, a beautiful something to hang on the wall or to, put somewhere where you can see it and view it and really create from it is a really good idea. It's a really nice thing. Or if you're really crazy about sacred geometry, you can go to my website. Wisdomware.org is the website. There is a shop on there, and you can pick up beautiful crystal infused sacred geometry t-shirts. I always have lots of Flower of Life, as well as many other sacred geometry patterns and shapes. I'm really crazy about it. Um, like I said in the beginning, my passion is to open other people up, to make it simple, to make it usable for you, to allow you to align yourself with the blueprint of the universe, with the thumbprint of God, to access the creative forces that are within you. Crystals, sacred geometry, and cute clothing is just one fun, creative way that we are able to do that. Hope this video helped you understand a little bit more about the beautiful Flower of Life, and you can look forward to more teaching videos from me in the future. Oceans of aloha to you all, and thank you for watching.